Hello everyone, I'm Marina and it's Sakramel School. I'm sure you've heard about a new filing manicure technique, but is it that new and efficient? We'll find out today. Let's get into it. Here are today's nails. My model wants to keep it natural, so we'll do a filing manicure and a gel polish coating. First, we need to remove the old coverage, and in this case, we will use a drill bit. A filing manicure technique does not presuppose that we use an e-file, but we can do without it removing the old coating. We can also remove gel polish by soaking it with some acetone-containing liquid, but this way the nail plate gets too dry and curls up, so it's not the best option. I'm using a green carbide drill bit to remove the coating up to the thin underlay. So, a filing manicure is one of the types of European manicure without using the cutting tools, where to process the cuticle and the lateral folds, we use special abrasive nail files. The point of such a manicure is to remove all the dead skin cells by filing them, just as we do it in the e-file manicure. We file up the skin and the cuticle instead of cutting them with a cutting tool. To remove the previous coating leftovers, I'm using a regular nail file with a 100/180 grit abrasive. As we can see, my model's cuticle is thin and dry, so a filing manicure technique will be perfect for it. We can push the cuticle with an orange stick. I will use this reusable stick with disposable abrasives. I will work with the softest abrasive, since my model's cuticle is thin. We can lift up the cuticle with this stick, make such twisting moves to lift it up and open up its pocket, and clean up the pterygium. This way, there is no need to file the nail surface for too long. At this stage, we remove most of the pterygium, so we just need to process the cuticle. To be honest, it may hurt a bit while working with such a manicure stylus. So I always catch up with my model and watch her reaction to my actions. To process the cuticle, we will need these foam-based nail files that will bend and follow all the cuticle curves. We will also need buffers that will polish all the tiny hangnails. Both files and buffers of different brands differ in abrasiveness, so I've got a few options here. These files have got a special abrasive that polishes the skin, not the one that regular files have that may cut it. We will also need a metal or wooden base. Mine is very flexible. I don't use hard ones. I stick the abrasive to the base a bit off to work with the foam part only, so as not to press on the skin too much, since we can cut or over-file the skin with any tool, including the nail file, if we press too hard on it. I turn the finger and start filing with the left sinus. Place the file perpendicularly to the nail plate, process the central part and the right sinus. At this stage, our task is to lift up the cuticle. I file the lateral folds in one direction, and if they are too rough, then move in both directions, but finish them off by moving downward to smooth out the skin. Process the sinuses with the tip of the file. Once we have lifted up the cuticle, there is a wide strip of the dry skin that we need to remove. The technique is the same as in the e-file manicure, where we'll lift up the cuticle first and then file it off. We can lay down the file like this, but make sure not to make long moves that will heat up the surface. Don't press too hard. This manicure technique takes practice, since any wrong moves near the cuticle or the lateral folds may damage the nail plate and leave cuts. We can use this technique together with the classic one if there are any big hangnails. There is no point in overfiling them with the file, since then it will be hot and painful for our client. After removing the cuticle, we can polish the tiny hangnails with a soft buffer. I have stuck it precisely. I polish it moving from left to right. These abrasives are disposable, so we want to use one file on a few clients, since we need it to be extremely sharp to file off the skin. This manicure technique is not a new procedure. We used to use it before too, when doing a classic manicure to process the lateral folds over the wet skin. That's called peeling. But recently, this technique has been introduced as something brand new. Done with the manicure. Well, it may not be as deep as the e-file one, but this way the cuticle won't grow back too fast. And the way the cuticle and the skin around it look has changed greatly. This manicure technique takes as much time as any other one. Whether it's classic or e-file, it takes about 30 to 40 minutes. Though it may be difficult to process wet or spreading cuticles. Wet cuticles won't get cut, but fringe, so we'd better cut them off. And if the cuticle is spreading badly onto the nail plate, one pass with the file won't be enough. So this filing technique is not new. I personally learned about it in 2015 or 16 from one of my students, who was excitedly telling me how they were using special manicure files in their salon, the ones by Christina Fitzgerald. She is a founder of the company with the same name that designed those abrasive manicure files. They claim that the files are safe and non-traumatic, and there is a low chance to cut or infect the client. Back then, the manicure files cost a lot. That's why the filing manicure procedures were not the cheapest. But nowadays, there are many other brands offering their own abrasive manicure files. So I'm sure you will easily find them on the internet. The main advantage of this technique is that there is no need to buy any expensive tools or equipment, just the abrasive files. Everyone can do such a manicure at home as well. And the cuticle and the hands will look polished. Meanwhile, I have extended one nail, shaped the free edge, and applied a clear base coat. Now I'm going to align the nail plate with a colored camouflage base coat. That will serve as a background for a future design. In the next video, there will be a review of various colored base coats. So make sure to subscribe to my channel so as not to miss out on it. I wipe off the tacky layer, and while the surface is slightly wet, I rub in the nail powder. Now I brush off the excess, and for the design, let's do some stamping. For this purpose, I'm using special stamping polishes. I clean up the excess and transfer the design. Now stamp it onto the nail plate. That looks very stylish. I covered it up with a non-tacky top coat. Mine has flown on the sides a bit, unfortunately, and the nail powder got slightly erased near the cuticle and in the sinuses. So doing stamping, make sure to use a top coat that doesn't flow. Let's finish off the manicure with a nail polisher. I apply some cuticle oil, and we'll need to polish the skin well to prevent any new hangnails. As you can see, the result is not that deep and clean as it is in the e-file manicure. Not as quick, and I'm not 100% sure about its safety, since again, we can easily cut the cuticle with any cutting tool, including a file. Well, I've got mixed feelings about this technique, but I'm sure that after some practice, you can do a filing manicure as fast as any other type. It will be especially useful for those clients who are really scared of the file. And what do you think? Write in the comments and make sure to subscribe. I wish you all clean manicures, no matter the technique. Success in your work. Bye bye.